How is it going, PPL fans? Welcome back to another episode of Meet the Coaches. We have done one of these with every single coach in the PPL this season so that you can get to know them just a little bit better. Learn a little bit more about their playstyle, their history with draft format, their sort of content style, and just kind of get to know their personalities a little bit. Now, unfortunately, we have had to say goodbye to Kelly, Mr. Under the Radar, who has had to drop. But we have a very, very special replacement for Kelly this season, who is stepping up to take that empty spot that he has vacated. Now, who could this coach be, I wonder? Well, Mr. Coach, would you like to reveal yourself to the nation?
Been a while, hasn't it?
It has indeed. How the hell have you been, Mr. Uzi Gunner?
I've been doing pretty good, my man. It feels really good to be finally back in draft format. And you know what? You can't have an Uzi intro without saying this, so let's hear it after all this time. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is TheUziGunner. Finally back in draft format after 2 long years, and it is just too sweet.
Bro, it feels like a lifetime since I've heard that intro, and my god, that was like a big shot of nostalgia right to the soul right there. Oh my lord.
Appreciate it, my man. Feels good to be back.
I was gonna say, how does it feel to be back? Does it feel good? Does it feel natural?
Yeah, I mean, to anybody that isn't aware, draft format is literally the reason why I started this channel in 2015. So, you know, it may have been 2 years, life may have gone on, but you know what the saying goes, absence makes the heart grow fonder. So on the basis of that, I realized now that the timer is finally fixed, now that people, my brothers, Joey, Pokey, MMD, lordemvee, as well as other people that I've known for so many years, like Addison and so on in the PPL, I figured, you know what? There's no better time to return now. So with that said, it's go time.
It is indeed go time, and I am so excited to see how you perform in the Scarlet and Violet meta. Is there anything in particular about Gen 9 that you've seen so far that you're really interested to like try out? Like, are you interested in terrestrialization? Any of the new mons excite you? What sort of thing are you looking at?
So yeah, like Generation 9 has been a very interesting metagame so far, and like to anybody that isn't aware, I'm actually a part of the team that competed in this year's Smogon World Cup of Pokemon. First time ever, Team Bangladesh finally qualified after 6 long years of trying. And granted, it unfortunately did come to a close this time around, but the metagame has been a very good one indeed, because I feel like this is easily the most offensive metagame to ever grace us to this date, to the point where it isn't a matter of, you know, how well you take hits, but how well you position yourself. Like, that's pretty much what the pattern has been in terms of, you know, like how the Generation 9 metagame has been. And I'm honestly very interested to see how the draft format ends up being, because, like, I've seen a few seasons so far, and it definitely seems like a lot of fun, especially now that we have all these Hisuian Pokemon around, and it's only going to get even better from here. So, yeah, like, definitely with how the metagame is currently, as well as the concept of terrestrialization, which is different here this time around, since, you know, you need 3 Pokemon of the lower tier to be able to terrestrialize and so on. It's going to be a very unique experience through and through, and I'm very much looking forward to getting myself into it.
And I'm looking forward to you getting into it as well, my guy. I think that's a very good point you make. The meta is a lot more offensive than it was last time you played draft. But I think, personally, having known your playstyle, you like to play a bit more offensive. You like to try and pull off those crazy sweeps. So I think this could be a really good set for you, a really good match. Do you think that... one thing I did want to go on to, actually. Obviously, you mentioned about the Smogon World Cup and Team Bangladesh. And for those of you who also didn't know, there was quite a bit of media attention about that. It was in a few news articles, and, you know, there were a couple of interviews about the team, and it was really good to see that, you know, yourself getting a bit of recognition. Do you think that experience has prepared you well for this season of the Pokemon Premier League?
Oh, 100%, man. Like, truth be told, like, none of us really expected the fact that we're gonna have our performance actually be covered in the Daily Star of all things, which honestly speaking, is such a huge honor because like it's a very popular media outlet in my country. So to have it covered and so on, as well as us finally being able to pull off something that we've been trying for 6 years, it's definitely a huge honor. And I definitely think that from a playstyle standpoint, I'm actually pretty. I do consider myself pretty well prepared for the PPL. I'd say because like definitely throughout this entire tournament, we've had to pretty much evolve our way of play style to the point where we could be good enough to be the best of the best. And definitely, while I would say that the meta game between Smog on OU as well as draft format are two separate entities, especially when you consider how the timer is different, how once you click a move you can't go back, as well as not being able to see the exact damage output unless you fucking bring out a calculator or something. uh, yeah, it's very much a different ball game this time around, but I do think that it is more enjoyable than your standard OU battles and so on. So I definitely think that from a personal standpoint, I think I'm as ready as I'll ever be for returning to draft format. But once again, like getting my feet wet, getting myself more experience with this whole thing, that's only gonna happen once I actually start playing my matches. So definitely, it's definitely gonna be something to look forward to. Obviously, the situation is also a bit different because for my first particular match, I'm not using a squad that I would personally draft. So I'm filling in for my boy Kelly, and he and I have different approaches when it comes down to playing our fights and preparing. So it's gonna be a bit different adapting to his squad, but I feel like he made some pretty solid choices, and I'm excited to give it a go. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's probably a fair thing to say. I know you and Kelly do definitely approach your drafts very differently. Kelly is all about the crazy meme synergy. Like, he thinks about what kind of like crazy battle strategies can I pull off. Like, I know Kelly's the type of person that would draft Sylveon just because it learns copycat or something silly like that. Like, the guy is crazy with what he does. I know you're a little bit more methodical, but I know you like a good meme set as well. So I don't know if you've been keeping track with the PPL channel this season, but we've been doing a bunch of analysis videos. We've got a series called Heat of the Week where we go over like crazy meme sets and effective unorthodox sets from the week. Do you think you'll be able to get yourself in Heat of the Week very often?
For that, I suppose we shall have to wait and see, my friend.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm definitely aware of people putting in some really unique sets. Like, I think the one person that has impressed me the most would have to be my very good friend Addison. Like, the way she has been using her team so methodically well, and also making use of stuff like bloody floatstone Gastrodon, just to like screw over any thunderous incarnate variants and so on, and having that team synergy and so on. So much to the point where it does seem like a meme set, but it works. It is so well thought out, and it definitely makes me very excited to not just like mix it up with the batch of talent that's in right now, which is a very solid list, I would say. But also, I feel like there is something new to be done in draft format, which many people are experimenting on, like with Mephisto saying it's okay for a father to cuck his son, and
oh lord.
and also getting more serious about.
Honestly, I'm just gonna jump in. Mephisto has been so much fun to watch this season. Like, his little skits, like Godfather style, like conversations with his son and stuff. Like, shout out to Mephisto. His content is so funny.
Yeah, his Espanol, the loco bandito. It's so fucking. Yeah, it's amazing stuff. I really, really like his content. Really like the content he's doing, and he's helping build draft. And obviously, you got your OGs. You got my boy Joey, who's changed up the presentation of draft format as it is. You got MV pulling up all these heat sets and so on. And I feel like from a creative standpoint, I also have something pretty unique to offer to the table, and I got some ideas. So let's see if I can integrate it.
I'm very, very excited to see what you can do. I know your content was always very well put together. It was never just your typical live com and just upload immediately with no edits or anything. You always like to go the extra mile. And I've seen some of your past clips running around recently. There was specifically one game that you played against, I don't know if you remember, K to the 2. Good old Kyle back in the day. It was a playoff semi-final, and you were going to lose. You're against an Alamomola. And
so that's mountaih.
Is it mountaih? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, those two were like synonymous for being like the number 1 and 2 in the format back in the day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you were up against Mono and the Alamomola, and I just remember. I can't. Do you want to just talk us through what happened in that clip if you can remember?
Yeah. So basically, I was really young then. I was inexperienced.
A wee child.
I was a wee child trying to finally get his first shot of glory as I took on one of the greatest draft league players at that time in mountaih. Shout out to my boy, by the way. And, you know, he had me beat. He had my back against the wall as his Mew ended up methodically stalling my team down. Especially, oh no, I had a Mew. Whoops. Yeah. As he get a poison on me with his Sneasel, and my last ever Pokemon was my Buzzwole. Yes, staring down an Alamomola, which, for the record, had Protect, and I was down to my last ever superpower. And here I was thinking, it's over, man. It is completely over because there's no way out of this situation. Or so I thought. Because Mono decided, I'm not gonna click Protect. I'm gonna click Hidden Power Flying. Just for that flex victory. I clicked my superpower, thinking it was over. And then I crit him.
Ignoring the -1 attack that you had from hitting
Indeed.
superpower the turn before, critting through your own stat drops and killing the Alamomola to take you to finals. That was incredible.
Indeed it was.
Oh, I'll have to try and find that clip at some point and pop it in one of these videos, but it is so freaking good.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, I won!
Yeah, it's just, I won, I freaking won, let's go. It's so good.
I'm in the finals! Yeah.
That
was something else.
I think the good thing about that is it does speak for your passion for the game. Like, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you enjoy what you're doing, and that does show off in your attitude and your attitude to playing your games as well. So I think for me, the fact that you enjoy playing the game as much as you do, that will translate very well into good content, and I think that puts you in a good position to, join the team we have here.
Yeah, thank you very much, bro. Like, Pokemon has always been a passion for me, like, ever since I was a little kid. I did, get away from it a little bit, but then when I got back to it on grade 6, courtesy of Ruby and Sapphire, it, like, everything just, that obsession and that love that I had for the series never really stopped. And even with how the circumstances were back then in this, because the thing is, like, as it stands, I'm currently the only Bangladeshi Pokemon YouTuber that, especially just goes around in leagues like this playing draft format and all that stuff. So it's I'm very much an outlier, I guess you could say, but I think it's the one thing that I would say is that if it's something that you love and you want to dedicate your time towards, just go for it. Like, you only got one shot in this world, right? So who cares what others have to say about chasing your dreams and so on, saying it's not practical or whatever. Like, at the end of the day, this is gonna become a regret for you to look back on. So I know, like, the whole topic is something, it has become far more deeper than it's supposed to be.
No,
but
I like it, man.
Yeah, but it's ultimately, I feel like at the end of the day, just know that there's only one version of you, and you should never try to be something or you're not, because people are gonna see through that, and most importantly, you will never be happy. So yeah,
I think the way to put it is just do what makes you happy, man. I mean, you only get one life.
Sure.
You might as well spend it doing things that you enjoy,
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, I love draft format so much. When Miguel showed me the light with his amazing content, Mega Mogwai, shout out to the
Shout out
GOAT.
to Mega Mogwai.
Yeah, and then obviously it's only gotten better since then. And now that we are at this phase where like people are upping up their game in terms of content creation, I feel like right now draft format is about to reach another very huge level of resurgence. And I am very much excited to integrate that, not just in bringing my energy, but seeing what new thing I can integrate to help, make this presentation get even better, and hopefully pave the way for even more people to start playing in this format, preferably even Bangladeshis, because yeah.
Yeah, you certainly are sort of paving the way for, the Pokemon legacy in Bangladesh. So it's,
Thank you.
There's going to be something that you definitely leave behind. And if any, up and coming Bangladeshi Pokemon fans find your content through the PPL, then, you've left your mark on society. So that's pretty cool. It's cool to think about, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I just think that at the end of the day, like, if there's anything that this year's World Cup has shown, in this Smogon World Cup, which we have been trying for 6 years, like, there are people that are genuinely passionate about Pokemon and are pretty good at it. So the fact that even in spite of that, there's such few people who are getting into who are getting into playing this game on an advanced level, let alone even creating content about it, I feel like that should not be the norm. There should be more people that goes like, okay, you know what? I enjoy this and I want to make this my hobby. Let's fucking go. Let's see what happens. Let's see where it takes us. And with, draft format and other forms of Pokemon media bringing people together, because at the end of the day, we're doing this because we love it. Nothing else. We want to have fun together. We want to create something unique for all of us to look back on and other people that watch us to look back on and be able to fondly remember. So in that sense, there definitely is, I feel like, something big to be done here. And with leagues like the PPL and anything else that happens in the future, exciting times are ahead, my boy.
Absolutely, and I'm very excited to see how those times pan out. One final question from me to you, just to kind of, get to know you like personally a little bit more. Sure. If you could have one Pokemon in the real life with you, like as either a pet or a companion or something, what would that Pokemon be and why?
So honestly, this is definitely a tough question that I would definitely be struggling in on most occasions, but the Pokemon immediately just popped up in my head. I would say Latias, no questions asked, because, like, keep in mind, growing up, I was actually a very huge fan of the Pokemon anime, and I really, really liked, what the media used to stand for back in the day. And there was a specific movie around the Lati twins. I believe I forgot what the name is.
I think it's Pokemon Forever. I think I had it on VHS.
Yeah, Forever or Heroes or something. I forgot. But
it's Heroes. Forever was the Celebi one. Yeah, you're right. Pokemon Heroes.
Yeah. Ah, there we go. I know my stuff. All right. So that movie, which featured in Venice and so on, the Venice incarnation, I really liked how the animation was and so on. But most importantly, I really enjoyed the story that was told between the Lati twins and Ash and everybody else, and just seeing the personalities of the Eon twins be able to shine like that. It really, as a kid, that's the time when we end up being the most impressionable, and the media that we consume ends up becoming irreplaceable part of us. And I definitely do remember having such a really soft spot for Latias, and because it can fly around in such high speeds, it has a really nice playful nature and so on. Overall, I feel like if there's any Pokemon that could become my best friend, it would definitely have to be Latias. I just have fun like traveling around and whatnot, and I still do remember as a kid that whenever I used to daydream a lot about having Pokemon that I wish were real, and Pokemon I would spend time with. The Lati twins were always in my mind during that. So
that's cute, that's really cute.
Yeah, thanks.
I like that. It's Pokemon from your childhood that have stayed with you, and gotta say that movie was an absolute banger as well.
It was, yeah. And it was very emotional. It was very well thought out and choreographed. And I feel like the early movies in general are some of the best in terms of depicting all these mythological and legendary Pokemon. And Latias is definitely the Lati twins are definitely one of those. So, yeah, Eon Twin for life.
Good answers, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we had some of our other coaches. I think drewby said he'd like an Abra just so he could teleport places and thought that that would be OP. Envy said he'd have a Vaporeon, to which I made a very weird joke in exchange.
Gee,
yes.
I wonder what that was.
Well, actually, yeah. So yeah, we've had some good answers, but I think yours, you know, that's quite a sentimental answer, so that's quite sweet. But yes,
Thank you.
I don't think I'm going to take up any more of your time. So thank you very much for, you know, giving me, well, yeah, any of your time for this interview. It's been very good fun. If you have any sort of parting message to say to everyone before we leave, now is your chance to do so.
Sure. So first things first, I just want to say thank you very much as well for arranging this whole thing. It feels really good to be back, you know, in draft format after all this time and talking to you because, you know, I've known you for quite a few number of years. And there are two things that I want to say. First things first, the PPL has been the second league that I first knew of before I even began my content creation journey in 2015, because, you know, I got into the Pokemon community in 2014. I saw that the PPL was going on with people that I really liked at that time. You know, shout out to Jack, aka Don Fanatic, the OG, the creator.
Big Daddy, the Don Fanatic.
Indeed. And then of course there's you, who has competed in this league before. There's also Ellie, and I feel like there's someone else who I'm forgetting, which I'm really apologetic for.
Shroom Raver, probably.
Oh yeah, Shroom Raver, Pete
go.
Quinnell,
Yeah.
who's now absolutely fucking killing it in Wrestle Talk. So yeah, I mean, these people very much, you know, represent a very precious memory for me as I got into the Pokemon community. Oh, and of course, who could forget our boy Frank Trode, who for some reason wants to call me Uzi Gunner for some reason.
Uzi Gunner, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I love how nobody even recognized that it was me in the comment section.
Yeah, that was really funny. But yes, hopefully people will recognize you from this one. It is definitely Uzi Gunner.
Indeed. But yeah, so to finally be a part of this league after all these years, from a sentimental standpoint, it definitely means the world to be here on, you know, this league's ultimate comeback with the best possible people. And the last message, so I'm very much looking forward to, you know, competing here, making some memories with you all. And the last message that I want to give, sorry if this is like being a mom.
It's cool.
Yeah. The most important thing that I want to say to anybody that's watching this and so on, at the end of the day, you cannot fake authenticity. Like, there may be times in your life where with the people that you're around with and all that kind of stuff, you may feel like you gotta be something else to fit in and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, these people will see right through you. And most importantly, you're never gonna really be satisfied trying to be something that you're not, because you're gonna have an identity crisis and it's not a good time. Take it from me, because I've had it was only until I reached my 20s that I realized this ultimate truth. So be yourself and understand that any person that genuinely cares for you, they'll accept you for who you are. And most importantly, always remember, it's okay for your father to cuck his son. I'm kidding.
And on that amazing message, we are going to leave here today. Thank you very much for joining me, Uzi. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to speak to you, and best of luck for the rest of the season. But yes, that is it from me. That is it from Uzi. And yeah, best of luck for the rest of the season. We will catch you guys in the next episode of whatever we have here on this channel. So catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Peace.